On this next episode of I Got Sand in My Ass, we're in Rockaway Beach, the only beach town that also doubles as a hood. Home to sharks in Yankee fitteds, sunburnt mobsters, bootleg liquor, and whatever the hell this thing is. Brought to you by the shoeless wonder himself, riding a longboard like he's still 26, Sir Baklava, your favorite barefoot pastry-slanging prophet of carbs. Rockaway Beach is located on the southern edge of Queens, a strip of sand and boardwalk that stretches out like New York's least-kept secret. Rockaway can be split into 3 main sections, and each one has its own ecosystem of chaos. There's the surf section, where the real surfers and the fake deep people go to vibe. Dudes named Chadwick, Zephyr, or Hunter drift around saying shit like, "It's pretty rad sick, brah."
Pitted, so pitted.
And despite being the surf section, this is the best place to swim. But you gotta sneak in and out quick like you're stealing from Whole Foods with a big black Jamaican security guard chasing you. Rockaway's been a surf spot for decades. The locals call it the A-Train Surf, because it's the only break in America where you can paddle out straight from the subway and still have to dodge a body bag that didn't make it past Far Rock. There's surf schools like Locals, Scoodin, and the New York Surf School that teach you city slickers how to slay major waves, brah. There's La Rue Bay Collective, a non-profit born in Far Rockaway that gives free surf lessons and water safety training to black and brown youth. Martin Luther King's dream was to one day see YNs grinding waves in poo shiesties. That last part I learned from the Baklava guy. He has an odd way with words, but his baklava absolutely slaps.
Pitted, so pitted.
Then you hit this stretch of beach that looks like God's fish tank exploded after a night of heavy kelp juice and Mrs. Puff's mystery punch. Seaweed twisted into funeral wreaths, busted crab shells, mussel graveyards, all slow baking in the sun like Poseidon's compost pile. Every step is a crunch of something that used to be alive, and now just smells like Satan's balls after sunbathing in low tide on Staten Island. This is the perfect place to practice karate, which I need to practice more, or do a Baywatch run. We're scaring the huzz big time with this one, bros. Both reminded me I'm not hot, I'm 30 with joint pain. Still, the beach itself is having a better comeback than me. After Sandy smacked Rockaway in 2012, the Army Corps dumped millions of cubic yards of sand back here. The old wooden boardwalk, gone, splintered. They rebuilt it in concrete by 2017. Now it's a haven for shirtless joggers scaring kids, dudes selling weed out of beach chairs, and whoever decided the boardwalk is the best place to get high and scream at the ocean. Oh, and did I mention there's sharks? Yeah, fucking Jaws. Great whites, sand tiger sharks, almost as scary as this guy's hairy back. Spooky. And still, people out here waist deep like there's not a prehistoric apex predator lurking 10 feet away trying to decide if your thigh is halal. And speaking of apex predators, a Baklava guy returns like a shark from the depths of the sea. The man's out here turning a shark attack beach into a 5-star dessert cruise. It's the one sweet treat that makes you forget you're swimming in a live-action Nat Geo special brought to you by the Baklava beast himself. You start to see shapes on the horizon. The air changes, and you realize those shapes are people. Lots of them. You hear a cause light being crushed. Someone yells, "Wepa!" From afar, you hear a sound, a familiar rhythm that only means trouble. Is that Suavemente playing? Ah, hell yeah, motherfather! This is Beach, 97th to 106th. It's the most packed, most tourist-flocked stretch of the beach. And here, you can spot every possible subspecies of New Yorker in the wild. It's a human migration corridor from every borough, every train line, every accent, all colliding under the same sunburn. Wall Street bros still in polo, lying on beach towels, checking the stock market between sips of canned margaritas. Kids from the Bronx dipping their toes in the water in full Nike tech. Old Italian uncles with skin cooked red as roasted peppers, looking like prosciutto left on the dashboard. This one might be dead. This one dude had a blunt the size of a freaking toddler. You got college kids passing vodka like they're pledging mono. Everyone was so cool, I turned my hat backwards just to fit in. Then I remembered, oh shit nigga, you're 30. Puerto Rican moms yelling at their kids in rapid-fire Spanish, while a Russian grandma feeds them pierogies from a folding table covered in floral plastic. All next to a tattered Bushwick hipster paying $60 for a single nutcracker. People barely swim here. They walk up, touch the water, and scream like they just found out it's wet. But it wasn't always like this. In the 1800s, this was a summer playground for New York's wealthiest. Then Bob the Destroyer destroyer, aka Robert Moses, bulldozed more than 700 buildings to create the Shorefront Parkway. It aimed to attract the more orderly crowd city planners preferred. And that's the beauty now. The very thing they tried to engineer away is what makes this place worth coming to. And that's what makes Rockaway my favorite New York beach. That, and there's no needles. This is also King Baklava's, the shoeless's favorite beach. Did I tell you he has a baklava tattoo? That's dedication, or an undiagnosed mental illness, or maybe it's both. I don't know. Rockaway has always been two parallel worlds, sharing one strip of land. On one side, Bell Harbor and Breezy Point, manicured lawns, wraparound porches, Irish flags, flapping like they own the wind. On the other, Hamel houses, Redfern, Ocean Bay, some of the largest public housing developments in Queens. Thousands of Black and Latino families here have roots deeper than the pilings under the boardwalk. The line between these worlds is sometimes just a single avenue, but it might as well be a border. After World War II, Irish families started turning this place into their unofficial colony. And by the early 2000s, nearly 1 in 4 Rockaway residents had Irish ancestry. Down on Shorefront Parkway, the Dayton Towers rose in the late 60s like Monopoly pieces dropped from the sky. Under Mitchell Lama, middle-income families could afford an ocean view. Then came October 2012. Hurricane Sandy didn't knock, it kicked the door off its hinges. Streets became rivers, basements turned into aquariums, and neighborhoods that already had the least got hit the hardest. When the floodwater drained, the money came. The boardwalk came back in concrete. Houses went up on stilts. Billions flowed into resiliency, which is just developer speak for "we'll make it safe for the people who can still buy in." The bungalows shrank into memory, replaced by glass-walled condos with fine print flood insurance and rooftop yoga. And still, Rockaway refuses to pick a lane. It's clean and chaotic, overpriced, and dirt cheap. You can surf at sunrise, dodge seagulls like debt collectors by noon, and get invited to a backyard barbecue by a stranger before sunset. Somewhere in that blur is the Baklava guy. No shoes, no fear, coasting across the sand one last time. And with this, my legal and moral obligation to mention him is complete. Goodbye, until I need rent money.